All right, great stuff. So as you see on the video, this is the terminal. So there's a few versions of the terminal. The one I have here today is the one without the fingerprint, but it has a built-in Wi-Fi module, so you can connect to either hardwired or via the Wi-Fi if you like. It's powered 12 volts DC. So now, as you see on the slide, there's 4 different models, and the one on top, these are there's one as a K1 T607 TE. The one with F, it means it's the one with the fingerprint. The one with W, it's the one with the wireless. So I have the one with the wireless but no fingerprint, but these days I would say the fingerprint is no use anyway, so we're going to focus on the face recognition. That's what it's designed for. What we know about this device, the main features of this device, like you see here on this slide: 7-inch LCD touchscreen, 2 megapixel wide angle dual lens camera. Of course, it's a face recognition also in a dark environment, so it has the built-in IRs as well. Face recognition distance you have from 0.3 to 1.5 meters. Suggested height of installation, it's between 1.4 to 1.9. 20,000 faces, that's impressive. The same with if there's a fingerprint reader, 5,000 fingerprints as well. So what else we have there? Like you see here, as I mentioned before, TCP/IP, Ethernet port at the back of the unit. Also, there's a Wi-Fi built in. What else we have there? You can import the data from the IVMS free software. The one I have, it's a 4200 software. It's the free license software. You can download it from Hikvision website. Also, you can download it from the portal or Fortus website if you like. So what we have there, as I said, it's all encoded in 264 RTSP protocol as well if you like to stream it elsewhere. For any third-party device, if you need to, it can be streamed. There's RS485 connection. There's a Wigan connection at the back of the unit as well, so you can connect to the access control, Hikvision access control panel. I would say the best thing to do would be just to show you actually what settings and what we have there and how to set this unit to get this working properly. It's really straightforward. If you ever set up any of the door stations, one of the intercoms, or if you ever set up anything like access control, Hikvision access control, or any other third party, the principles are the same. So let me jump into the software now. There you go. So there is the software. First thing we will go to is, before we go to the device management, I'd just like to show you what version of the software I have. Is the 3.2010. It's the latest at the moment. So to set up your device, obviously you need to add your device to your software. Like you see here, I already add my indoor station and the terminal. The terminal is the face recognition terminal, and assign the IP address to my range so I can see all the devices. Obviously in the IVMS software, when you click the online device, you can see all the list of your different devices. Like you see, there's a few on my network. So once we have this device added in, you should see the status online. That's grand, the device is there. The device type is the access control. So in order to go to the more advanced settings of this device, you just go to remote configuration. There's device information outside the time would be one of the most important, so it will show you the correct time. And so just select your time zone, right? In network settings, we already pre-configured that IPv4 to the certain IP address on my network. But also we have the Wi-Fi connection. So if there's no way you can run the cable to this device, you can always power this up locally 12 volts DC and connect it to the local Wi-Fi. And the same as the indoor station. The indoor station we sell, they have the built-in Wi-Fi module, so you could have all Wi-Fi if you need to. So like you see here, that's my network name, whatever password, and just connect and assign the IP address automatically for this device. Later on, when the IP address is assigned, you can uncheck the IP address at the DHCP, so it will stay with this device for forever. Then link network settings. In link network configuration, I point the IP address of my door station, which is the actual unit itself. In this case, what I've set up here is the one-to-one terminal and indoor station. So my terminal is my door station at the same time. Of course, the alarm relays, if you like to set up or set a different delay time, that's where you can do. And the other settings, like an access control parameters, the voice prompts, I just uncheck the box here because I'm on the front of that unit at the moment, so it will keep triggering and keep announcing that the face has been recognized. I can just click it for a second. I don't know if you can hear. So that's the sound. Because I'm sitting on the front of it, I don't want to have it all the time triggering. It would be annoying. Of course, upload pictures to the capture linkage, so it will send a picture of any face has been detected to your IVMS software, and then you can see who has been or hasn't been recognized by the terminal. Face recognition parameters, usually we don't go near those settings. By default, the face recognition settings are really good. It's picking up every single time and there's no problem with that. So I wouldn't really go near those settings and change them unless there's some different environment that might need to change some. By the way, if you have any questions, you can answer those questions on the web chat. I'm just looking at the web chat there. Are you all can hear me, can you? And you can see the video as well, I hope. I'll just double check if everyone's okay there. I know if yeah, like I can see myself there, no problem. So I hope everyone is all right. Good. So we're just going to continue. So we're in other settings, then we'll go to the image settings. The image settings, just like an ordinary camera, you have your mainstream. You can change the resolution, bitrate, frame rate, and so on. The same for the substream. You can change that settings here as well. The volume input, it's the built-in microphone and speaker. You can adjust them if you like to. And operation is just the relay output at the back of the unit. Its status is currently closed. You can change that status if you like to manually from this page, but I will show you a different page where you can change that as well. And that's just the relay status. So these are all the settings. Like you see, the most important setting really is the network settings, the Wi-Fi, I would say at the time, at the beginning. Then when you have this unit connected with the intercom, I would say I'm going to show you how to set this up with an intercom in a second. So I'm just going to close all those settings, and like you see, that's our terminal. So what we're going to do now, when we have the terminal operational, we're just going to add some users to this terminal. So in that case, we just go back to the main page of your IVMS software, and you go to the person. So in the person, like you see, I already create organization Fortis with the user Luke. So when I double click in that Luke user, this is me unshaved yesterday, and it still recognizes me fine. So it's all good. What we have here, you can enroll the cards, you can enroll the MyFair cards, EM cards as well. By using this door station, this terminal actually, I can just go ahead and select my terminal, click OK, and just read the card, and the card will be read and added to my system. But you don't have to. If you don't have the cards, you like to only rely on the face recognition. By default, that's what is there for. So you can just detect the face, recognize the face, the database is there within the unit itself, and then you can just use the face. But you can also use the face and card, or you can use a face and fingerprint if you like to. So in the case if you had a fingerprint reader, or the unit with a fingerprint reader, you can just select that fingerprint enrollment station here. Of course, this user can be assigned with a different PIN code. If you have the keypad there, you can make it as a super user. If there's a disabled person, you can extend the door open time. So it will open time, the door will be open for a bit longer than usual. You can blacklist the person that you create so next time they show up here, the door won't open basically. Mark as a visitor. Once we mark that as a visitor, you can limit how many times they can get in. It could be just a few times, it could be just one day if you like, or there's no limit. And device operator, it's basically like an admin rights. So resident information, you can assign one of your indoor stations to this user. So like I have one indoor station here, I assign the room number 1 to that user, and some additional information, date of birth. So I can put my date of birth, in this case there you go. All right, everyone remember that now? What is my birthday? Brilliant. So what else we have there? The position, ID number, identification type. We can just enter any of listed below here. So once we click OK, that user is created. So we're just going to create additional user now. Again, just create add the user on the top of the page. Just put the name user 2, maybe just keep it simple, and we can upload the picture. We can upload the picture from the terminal itself, or we can upload the picture, third-party picture. It could be, you know, Facebook picture if someone liked it. If you take the picture with the third-party device, it would still do. In this case, I'm just going to upload some picture from my library here. Not this one now. There it is. So here you go. Mr. Bean is there. And again, I can assign a card, I can assign a fingerprint if you like to, PIN number, and so on and so on. So when I have that user, you just click add, and that's it. We have 2 users now. So once we have two users, what we're going to do with them, we're just going to assign those two users to our terminal. In order to do that, I know if you notice something on the right hand side top corner, just here, that icon just appear, access group to be applied. It will be the software that will notify that there's some changes been made, and you can apply them just by clicking the button here. So whatever new user you create, you don't have to go to the advanced settings and apply it there. You can just apply it from here. So I'm just gonna do it here. I click that access group, and here you go. Access group, and you can see here it's applying here. All my details to users should be applied. Actually additional user as well. So if I double click, you can see Fortis and Lucas and user 2. I check the box for the user 2. I assign those two users to the terminal number 1 to our DAR station, and just save the button, check the box, and apply all the settings I changed to this device now. Once it's done, it's 100% all applied. You can see details, who has been applied, what features or settings and options has been applied to this terminal. So there it is. So that's our user. So once we have the user up, the face recognition terminal, it will pick me up and open the door automatically straight away now, from now on. If the Mr. Bean will be here, it will be picked up as well and open the door for me as well. So once we have the user, what else we can do? Like you see here, that's the access control terminal portal. I mean the module of that software. With the template, you can set up the holidays. You can just have a different schedule for different time of the day. So in the case of the holidays, if that's the it's not an apartment block, but it's a business enterprise, you can assign, all right, during the holidays, no one's supposed to be there. So even if someone's going to walk in there, it won't open the door for me. So you can see when the all day authorized and denied is, so you can pick different dates and so on. Advanced settings of that door station, device parameters. So when you select this device, you can see the door itself. The door is normally closed. Exit button will be one to open for that door. For how long it's going to be open, it's a 5 seconds. And if the door is open for more than 30 seconds, in this case, by default, it's set to trigger the alarm. You can also assign the alarm output of that door if you like to. In remain open and close, of course, you can schedule when the door will be always open, no matter what, or always closed. So you can just change the schedule if you like to. The passback, actually, I'm looking at the of one of the questions here. Yes, there is an option there. We'll just go, as I see here on the left hand side, anti-passback here. When I select this, you can actually have the anti-passback here. The same as the first person. For some of the access controls, you have that feature here as well. All right, authentication. So in authentication, as I mentioned that before, you can use your face by default. If you don't go near any of those settings, if you won't apply any schedule to this page, by default, the face recognition terminal, it will trigger and open the door automatically for you. But once you change any schedule here, if you select card and pin, the fingerprint card, and so on, like when you go to configuration, there's a list of different scenarios, different modifications of what can authenticate on this terminal. So like you can go with the face and pin, card and pin, card and face, and so on. So they'll all be listed here, and whatever you select and assign the schedule, that will be in this case face and card has to be presented at the terminal to open the door. If you have nothing scheduled, as I said, by default it will be the phase that has been created in the person, and that's what's going to happen. So if you like to have the entrance more secured, that's the page you want to go. All right, more parameters is just the network settings we have here, and linkage configuration. So in this case we have this terminal as a DOL station, and you can start recording. It depends on what kind of event you like to trigger by. For example, door event, if the door is open or remain open started and so on, you can trigger different alarm outputs and input and so on. Also in access control we have the video intercom page. When you see all the contacts, so all the persons you create in the past, and if they are assigned to the indoor station, they will be listed here, so you can call them if you like with the phone button here. You can see who's assigned. Also you can see the log of this device as well, so when I go for search and see if there's anything whatsoever been answered or so from the intercom. At the moment I haven't used the intercom yet, so I'm just going to call Luke, because Luke is assigned to indoor station number 1. So now you should hear my indoor station. I'm just going to answer it just in case. I'm going to I hope that fixed the problem. Yeah, it looks like that software took over my recording audio settings. Once I changed the volume here, it actually affected my microphone. Now it should be alright. Sorry about that. Just if you confirm, please, if the sound is back. It looks like it's back now, so. Good, good. So, I know obviously you didn't hear me what I was talking about, the recap. Just like I'd explained it before, when you create a user, when you add a new user, you just go to access control, authorization, access group. In the access group, you just go to your organization here and select what user should be added to what door station. Once you have that done, you just apply all settings, new settings to your device. Cool? Brilliant. So this is how you set up the terminal on its own. What if you like to have that fully integrated with the intercom? Like I said, you can add the terminal as a door station to your terminal. We're going to have to go back to the terminal options and the indoor station options, so you can see my indoor station is added in. So in the case if you like to get them talk to each other, just go to the indoor station. If you ever set up the indoor station before, any intercom, Hikvision intercom before, it's exactly the same. So obviously first thing to go is the time. Just make sure the time is right, and then when you go to the intercom ID, by default it's 1 and 1, the first apartment. If there will be multiple apartments, you're just going to go change the number, and when you go to the network and link the network configuration, I just enter the IP address of my terminal. So once I have the terminal up, just save the settings and exit out from it. So now if there's a user, if someone's going to approach the terminal and it's not in my person list, they can ring our apartment by knowing the apartment number, and then whoever it's an apartment, or it could be business, whoever is at the indoor station anyway, you can actually open a door for them, even if they're not on the list. So that's how you can get this working as with the indoor station, sorry. So what we not just tested now, so let me give it a go and test that indoor station with the terminal. I just like to show you the video of the terminal as well. So if you give me a second, I'm gonna set you up with the video for the terminal. So that was just 1 second. I'm just gonna put the a logo first, and I'm gonna back with the video in a second. All right. So there it is. That's our terminal. So you should see the video now. Me on the front of the terminal. Like you see, it's continuously authenticated because I'm sitting on the front of it. But if I go with the button on the bottom of the page to dial, I can actually dial the room number. I know the room number is number 1. Hopefully it's not going to work. And here you go. And now you can see our door station here. I'm just going to hang up here. And it's working fine, perfectly, no problem. Just like an ordinary door station. So once we know how to set this up as a door station, independent door station, but also in integration with the intercom, the Hikvision intercom, I just would like to show you another feature of that terminal, which is actually cool as well. I don't know if you ever used the time and attendance terminal, the fingerprint terminal, which obviously these days is not the ideal solution. So what we can do, we can also use that as a time and attendance terminal. So once we have the person set up, the unit is set up as a standalone door station, we can also use the time and attendance feature of our IVMS software. So like you see here, you have to go to the time and attendance. General rules, you can just see here the weekends, when the weekends are, and so on, how long you could be late, when the system recognizes you as you are late, or when you're early, or so on. But those settings, these are fine. I would like to show you the more important settings of that software here. The same with the holidays and so on. So the timetable, like you see here, I set up the timetable here. That's our default timetable. That will be like a schedule, and when the system is operating, like our attendance time is starting at 8 o'clock, finishing at 5 o'clock. So I can check into our system. I can just come into work earlier, 7 o'clock, never gonna happen. And leave late if I like to. And the same for the valid checkout. I can leave earlier, no, 4 o'clock, and system wouldn't recognize me as I'm late or anything like that, or went earlier. And everything after 6:30 would be like an overtime. Like you see below, check-in late time and check-out early, leave for 60 minutes. Mark as an absence, so I have an hour in and out. If I want check in an hour time, it will be like I never show up. When you go to the shift, you can just schedule the shift from 8 until 5, like you see here, for all weeks. That's our shift schedule for Lucas, and for any other user that has been associated with the Fortis in this case. Once we have the schedule, we can go to statistics. And you can see if that user and what time they check in and check out. So first of all, we're going to go to the get events from the device. So I'm just going to select my terminal, click OK. It's just pulling information from our terminal right now. Hi Philip, right, see you. So now you can see I just authenticate so many times. The list is endless pretty much every second because I'm in front of it. But you can obviously type in a name, change the different departments if you like to, or you can calculate the whole payroll from that page as well. So you can see, all right, I was late today. I check in only at 7 past 9. And last checkout is just a second ago. So that will be the most important information for the payroll department. I'll say what time someone checked in and checked out. Of course, that report can be generated. We can export that as a PDF on an Excel file, which as an Excel, it's so easy for the payroll department to work with. You can have a general reports like a daily, monthly, weekly reports. All those details are here. Usually the one I notice everyone is using is start and end time work. So when you click and select that option, you just go with the report. Sorry, just select the organization. And you can see I only checked in today and checked out at 11 past 12. The other user never checked in. So it will, if you have the multiple users, there will be hundreds, thousands of users if you like, and there will be an Excel file if you like. You can import it from, export it from here as well. I said that will be the most important report for a payroll department. All right, do you have any questions? Oh yes, the log of the events, yes, they all start on in the monitoring. You can see the log of who logged in and so on. So you can see, here you go, it's a live event. So once I'm logged in, you can see I'm been recognized, and there's also the person that has been added with their picture and the current read from the terminal itself. I can also control the door from the monitoring page. So if I select my door, I can open the door, I can close the door, I can remain open, closed if you like to. In the event center, you can see all the log, just like you see in the, for example, Paxton and so on. If I like, I can link one of the cameras to that door, particular door, but no, there's a camera built in, so I can actually see the picture here as well. I'm just looking at the pictures. I'm sorry, on the web chat here, and if you have any questions, go ahead and you can type it in there, or you can send me an email as well. You have the email on your ticket, the email ticket you received recently. There's my direct email. You can ask any question you like. If I take off my glasses, we can give it a go. So yeah, they picked me up straight away, without a beard and without the glasses. And I also took a picture on my phone that didn't recognize as a face. So you can't just fool that terminal as you know, with a fake picture or taken picture of somebody and present it on the front of the terminal. That wouldn't work. It has to be the real person on the front of the terminal. It's a deep in mind system, so it recognise and measure the distance between the face and between the ears and all eyes and so on, and try to establish if that's the real person on the front of the unit or not. So Peter, just like you said, it won't open the door if I print a photo, even if that would be a high-res photo. I tested this and it didn't work, so that's a good thing. It's quite safe. But as I said, you not always have to rely on the picture on the front of the terminal from the face recognition. You can also use the card. Or you can use the the fingerprint, if that fingerprint is there on that terminal. But in this case, you know, there's a face and the card. You can just tap the card on the front of it. So Krzysztof, yes, it picked me up when I took off my glasses. Yeah, no problem. If the IVMS application can control the door remotely, yes, can control remotely, but just like with any other device, you need to have ports open. So it's operating on port 8000. So if you have the port open, you can have some sort of centralized workstation where you can control all your terminals across Ireland, if you like, or anywhere in the world they are, and pull the information and exchange information between each other. All right, the price point, I would say that would be more question to the Let's in Sales. So I would say Brian and Owen answer all your price questions, sales questions, really. Oh yeah, John, if the lock is stored on the device, yes, it's stored on the device. You can pull all the information from the device. So just like I showed you before in the time and attendance, for example, all information regarding the record what has happened to this device before, I can get from my device. So that's why I have to go to the get events from, and need to select the device in question. Then it would pull all the information from that device, including the whole log. So you could just use any IVMS software. It doesn't have to be that one IVMS software, particular workstation assigned only to that door station. It could be your laptop. You could go ahead and do it remotely with a different workstation and IVMS software. Once you know the user and password to that terminal, the IP address, you can pull all information. But also the users themselves, all that information, the organization, all the users' face, pictures, everything stored within the unit itself. Piotr, you can use the photo for the device library, and if you use the photo from iPad to open. All right, yes, I can test that. by just using whatever picture has been taken. But as I said before, the DeepInMind system is actually recognizing if there's a flat surface, and that could be your phone, it could be a piece of sheet of paper with the photo on it, or it actually is the face on the front of it, the real face on the front of it. That's why you have the dual length. It will actually measure the points from both lenses there you have. So that's why you can recognize, and you can't really fool that camera, that terminal. If the call point, the panel is stolen, yeah, but you need to know the username and password in the first place to log in and retrieve that data. So without username and password, just like with any other device in the database, you wouldn't be able to retrieve that information from the panel. Like, I don't know if you noticed the picture I took yesterday. I had a small beard. I can show you quickly here. Not this one, sorry. Yeah, it could be my photo as well. There it is. So, I'm not clean shaved here. I have the beard, I have the glasses. I would say, might grow a beard a bit more to actually see. I know somebody in an office who has a quite big beard who can test that for us if they shaved. So we can test that on some stage. I can't see any more questions coming up, but if you have any more questions, as I said, you can always send me an email. I will reply to you. The whole training is also going to be available on our website later on as well. It will be all recorded. Probably you're going to start from scratch and do it all nice and in one clip. So it's all going to be on the Fortus website and Fortus YouTube channel as well. So you can watch as many times as you want. Oh yeah, it's actually, here you go, John. And then there's David as well asked the question. Here you go. So if you don't like your photo being stored, where do you assign the content number? You just need to go to the person, and in this case you can just go ahead and delete the photo, assign the pin code if you need to. All right, once we have that done, we just go back to access control, and we go authentication. In authentication, just go ahead here. Sorry, just an access control, and I'll be able to select face or the pin number if I like to. I would say just because I select too many options before, that might be a bug in the system that actually not allow me to select that right now. But yes, just like with the access control, any other access control, you can use just the pin number or the face recognition, or both together if you like. So once I have the pin number and I schedule for face or pin number, it will open the door for me. John, unfortunately the unit is only 12 volts DC. it doesn't support a PoE. Piotr, the panel is damaged. By default, the Hall fin it's set to be closed, even if you damage the unit itself. The options are, you can change that, but you know, once you have the damaged terminal, it still remain closed. But you can change the state of the relay. I'll say I would have to double check that for you. Yeah, so Piotr, I will come back to you with the answer there. I would have to double check and test this, what's going to happen if I damage the terminal. So, if you have any questions, as I said, come back to me on email. You can always email me any question there. I know some of you probably are signed for the next training Wednesday at the same time. Sorry for the delay this time, but we had some difficulties with the speed, but yeah, hopefully the next one will be perfectly fine, and we're going to start sharp at 11. So the next one is actually ANPR. It's a new type of the ANPR. If you didn't come across the new ANPR camera, the red plate camera, there's some new features in that camera that would be useful, I would say, for some of you. So we're going to cover the ANPR. Probably wouldn't be as long as this one. I would say, you know, we'll see. We're going to talk about how to set up the camera as well, how to make sure all the settings of the ANPR camera will be right. I think I covered everything with regarding the terminal, how to set up locally, remotely, locally and together with the intercom. I can't wait for the intercom itself. I have the intercom coming in 2 weeks time as well. John's asked a question here. There's actually a relay at the back that released the door, yes. But there's also RS-485 that you can connect to the Hikvision access control, and then that can release the door eventually. All right, gentlemen. So yes, if we have all the questions answered for now, I would say we should be all right for today. Thank you very much. I'm sorry again for the delay, but yeah, that's our first one. Definitely not the last one, and we're going to continue with more cool stuff. I have the hall window and all the shelves here around me full of equipment that we're going to test in the next few weeks, and we're going to do the training for every single one of them. So yeah, we're gonna have something to do. All right, and yeah, next time, as I said, NPR camera. In the meantime, I also preparing the Fever training as well, Fever terminal camera, so you can see how to set up that kind of camera. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and I'll see you soon. I mean, you will see me, and I'll talk to you on the phone, probably, most of you. And so good luck, take care, and enjoy your weekend. It's it's actually nice outside. It's supposed to be 20 degrees, so can't wait. I'm gonna do some barbecue today. All right, good luck, take care, and see you.